Train the muscles, not the joints. All right, so I haven't done incline barbell for quite a long time. So that's, again, another advantage of going to the gym. A couple of pieces of equipment that I haven't had a chance to really get acquainted with. And, you know, is incline barbell better than incline dumbbell? I wouldn't say it's better, but it's different, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this first, and then I'm gonna finish off with some dumbbell inclines. And it just gives me an opportunity to have a little bit of a different pump instead of, you know, just doing the straight sets with the dumbbells all the time. So this is where variety is important. And, you know, again, not just for mental reasons, but also for reasons of getting unexpected benefit. So a lot of times people will think oversimplistically about an exercise, and they'll do inclines and assume barbell and dumbbell are pretty much exactly the same. But anybody who's done them for any period of time will be able to tell you that there are subtle differences in how the tension plays out. So if you're doing incline with a barbell, you're going to notice that maybe you get more chest interaction or maybe less. But there's one thing for sure that barbell lets you do. It lets you bring in the triceps more so that way you can push the set deeper into failure once the chest fails, right? So sometimes that can give you some extra benefit, or sometimes one could say maybe you don't isolate the chest enough, you know? But only through experimenting will you really know the difference. All right, let's do a warm-up set, incline here. And then move into some real weight maybe. Maybe stop being such a pansy. All right, first set felt pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna move to 2 plates and then do a few sets and see how we go here. Yeah. Definitely feels different. And again, that's why you want to do different exercises, because you know, you get kind of grooved into a certain movement, and then you do a barbell rather than dumbbell or whatever, and you're going to notice that it feels almost like a brand new movement altogether, right? So that was good. Yeah, I'll do a few sets of this. So sometimes people will ask me like whether you should specialize in a movement or always do variety, or should you change an exercise every single workout. And I would say there are times where you might want to specialize in a movement. Say you really want to focus on that groove to make sure that your coordination isn't the weak link. And then once the coordination isn't the weak link, you're able to get more repetitions with that movement and move up in weight, of course, and then you're going to get some hypertrophy from that. You know, so it starts off with the strength and then the hypertrophy. And the first thing that increases is your coordination. Now, if you're changing movements every single workout, you may find that there are certain movements that your coordination is not going up in. And if that's the case, and that specific movement is the one you want to get stronger in, maybe you want to specialize in that movement for a few weeks. You know, every workout you hit that movement first, or you at least make sure that that movement is included in your workout, right? So in this case, say it's incline barbell. Say I wanted to get better at incline barbell specifically because I felt that was a weak link in my workout, then I would hit that every chest day for 2 or 3 weeks or maybe a month and see how that specializing assists me with putting on strength. But you know, I find that variety is good. I like to vary the movements every workout, but once in a while I do specialize. So if you feel called to do that, that's not an absurd idea. That's really what my point is. Already that one felt better. Second set felt better. Mountain. Let's do a third set here. As you can see, it's actually feeling pretty good. You know, just after a couple sets, just getting the groove down. So every piece of equipment has its own kind of psychology, or whatever you want to say. But that's why it's kind of fun. It kind of gives you a little bit of inspiration, just because, you know, a lot of times there are people that have goals to become the best natural bodybuilder in the world and all that stuff. You know, that's all great. Putting on muscle is all great and everything. But mostly why I do this is to feel good and to have neat experiences between me and the body, you know? And using different pieces of equipment and hitting different angles can sometimes bring that to you. And like I said, sometimes you get accidental sort of healing of different injuries and stuff because of that as well. So yeah, let's do number 3 here. All right, I lied. I'm gonna do another set. And just because I want to. There's no ands, ifs, and buts about it. It's just I want to. I'm gonna do another set. Kind of settled in here. And then maybe I'll do 2 sets of dumbbell incline just to finish that puppy off, and then see what I'm gonna do for there. Feels good though, I have to say. This feels much better than I thought it would. I mean, you do feel a lot of front delt. No, there's no doubt about it. But I do enjoy just the interaction or the collaboration between the muscles in a different way. Collaboration, there you go. People are like, Jason, why don't you do collaborations on YouTube with a bunch of people? You know why? Because I'm collaborating, my muscles are collaborating, and I'm collaborating with the muscles. That's why I'm too busy collaborating with my own muscles. One more. So yeah, some people think that if you do barbell inclines, then you can't do dumbbell inclines, like it's some sort of, you know, 10 commandment that you're breaking or something. But the thing is that sometimes going from barbell to incline will help you understand the subtlety between the 2 movements. You'll get more of an intimate experience, right? And this is all about making sure that your experience becomes first and foremost, not necessarily your idealism. So I highly encourage you to try different variations of the same movement and really get in tune with the differences. And that will help you a lot more with understanding what works for you and what doesn't. So yeah, let's do maybe 90 pounders for the start, and then maybe move up, or maybe just stay the same. But really what I'm doing this movement for is just to hone that tension, you know what I'm saying? People think I'm weird because I'm talking to myself. So first thoughts on that. The truth is I actually got better mind-muscle connection in the pec from doing the barbell first, fatiguing the overall area with 4 sets, and then going to dumbbell. So it was actually a really interesting experience. I haven't done that in a long time. And I noticed that I got a way better chest pump from pre-exhausting, I guess. I pre-exhausted in a certain way with that barbell, and then I went to dumbbell, and it feels better just if I went to dumbbell right away. So these are kind of the weird discoveries that you make just by letting go of your assumptions around what's happening and playing around, right? Yeah. Okay, so here I am going to be doing some seated rows. Not my favorite exercise, but because it's something different than bent over row, it's a good addition to my back training, right? So I usually like to stick to around 20 to 30 reps with this type of movement. I keep my heavy movements, or at least my heavy lifts, more for the bent over row or heavy dumbbell row. That's usually where you see me go a bit more heavy when it comes down to back training. But in this one, I just want to focus on the constant tension and the burn. And I notice if I go a bit too heavy, then I start to include the biceps a bit more and maybe rear delt and stuff. So anyway, I'm just going to play around with this and see what happens, right? That's what I do every workout. Because the funny thing is that sometimes you'll do a heavy workout one day and it feels like the best thing. And then the next time you do heavy with that same exercise, it doesn't feel right. And then it's better to go lighter. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to just do this, pump up, and then possibly do that special movement I did a video ago by turning sideways after I pumped up the lat. Then I'm going to try to isolate it just a bit. But I think the thing I did last time was I was pulling like this, but I was also sticking the chest out and trying to finish the movement. But what I'm going to do is just to here and see if that just isolates more the lat rather than bringing in the rear delt. So yeah, little exciting games you can play, right? Man, those lats are still sore from the pull downs the other day, actually. So it feels nice and easy. I'm going to go probably double the weight here. Because, you know, when you're a mountain, then you can do that. Yeah, every angle, kind of exciting, right? Every angle can be exciting. Every angle can offer you a new experience, you know? It's like you're at a buffet of muscular gains, a buffet of muscular stimulation, you know? So, here we go. Now, have you noticed I don't extend the arm all the way? Because when I extend the arm all the way, then the shoulder has to stabilize to keep from dislocating. And I start to bring in more delt and more bicep to stabilize the shoulder. So full extension can sometimes keep you from stimulating the back, right? So depends on the exercise and depends on the circumstance and whether you should be extending or not. But in this case, I find extending would actually work against me. All right, gonna give you guys the wide angle. It's the wide angle right now, yeah. All right. It's a weird movement, but that's why I'm doing it. So I'm only bringing it here. So we go further, then I bring more rear delt in. And I'm trying to just hit kind of a weird angle at the back, right? So I'm doing that on purpose, so you know. So don't judge me. Now here's the absolute truth. This movement looks messed up, but I like it. I like it. I've never did it before in my whole life. But for some reason, when you stretch this way, you really do get that lat. And just pulling to here, you're making sure that that lat is under stretch for a lot longer period of time, and you're getting a good squeeze at the same time. So it'll take a little bit of adjusting and maybe playing around with, but yeah, this might be a neat variation of the seated row that you might want to try. So I'm actually enjoying it, which is unusual. Sometimes when I try these different angles, I hate them, you know, but this one's actually pretty good. See, so I stretch down here and then come like that. See? I'm not using heavy weight, like not really heavy, just, you know, 30 or 40 pounds, you know. You can work your way up to heavy if you want. I'm just trying to get that burn, right? And worst case scenario, you get a lot of rear delt, and hey, who doesn't need more rear delt anyway, you know? So all right, let's do a giant set, or no, superset. I'll do press downs, and then I'm gonna do a preacher curl, because you know, my exercise of the week for my biceps is the preacher curl. I'm just enjoying that. Usually I'm doing dumbbell curls, I'm doing incline curls or hybrid incline curls at home, or barbell curls. But I find that the machine, because of the constant tension all the way up and down, it's just giving me something different to play with, right? I don't think that it's a better exercise, but for convenience sake, and for something different, it definitely can help with getting more results, because I'm doing this in addition to doing the basics, right? So yeah, sometimes having these extra machines isn't necessary, but it does really help sometimes, because you're just getting that squeeze in different areas. Just like with the seated row, right? The seated row, because when I'm using a narrow grip, when I come back with my hands, I internally rotate just a little bit, and the lats are internal rotators. So it does help squeeze the lats when you're doing the seated row. So some of these subtleties are lost on a lot of people, but each one of these little subtle things adds up to more overall results and growth. See, now I don't like this machine. You know why? Because there's too much friction in the thing for some reason. So I'm gonna move to a different machine. Let's use the triangle bar here. Let's see here. Now another thing you can do is do as many as you can and then bend over to stretch it. There you go, nice pump. So the exaggerated range of motion on this is done on purpose because it has to do with the rotation of the elbows and the forearms. And I find that this is the best way to keep the stress on the bicep brachii. If I come down lower in the preacher curl, not only is it more dangerous, especially if you're using free weights, but I find this is the best way to keep that tension on there. Now, of course, you've got different situations going on than I do. You know, I've got a rotator cuff sort of thing and everything. So this is the best way for me to do it. When I extend all the way down, I find that tension actually leaves my biceps. Now, this tricep press down is a bit better than the other one, but I still notice some tricep press downs in some gyms, they have a bit of friction, right? So when you're pressing on them, then there's almost more resistance than the actual weight itself. And then when you're in the negative part of the rep, that friction is actually helping take some of the load off the muscle, right? And it's kind of not necessarily what you want, but yeah, sometimes it's just something to do with the pulleys. Sometimes the pulleys need to be changed or some simple thing like that. But anyway, this one's better than the other side, so I'm using this one. Now the tricep press down is something that people, you know, they debate about a lot of the techniques and stuff around it, but a lot of times I find bending at 90 degrees of the elbow for myself, this seems to be the most efficient to keep the tricep in there. But once in a while, I will come all the way up and all the way down to work with that long head of the tricep as well. It's just that if I do that with too much weight, I start to bring in the internal rotator cuff muscles and the lats and stuff. And so, you know, you always have that risk, right? Once you start extending the range of motion in certain ways, you'll bring in some other muscle groups. But sometimes it's the right thing to do, right? Now, right now, what you're seeing me do is bend over to extend the set because I'm taking advantage of the muscle being in a stretch position to give me a couple extra reps. And I find it's an extremely effective way to push those triceps into a deeper level of failure. So that was my workout for today. I pretty much specialized in some inclines for upper chest, did some nice rowing movements and then an isolation, and then just a couple sets for triceps and biceps. And I did a couple things off camera, just some bicep curls, standard stuff, just to finish it off. But that's pretty much it, right? That was my workout. I really can't stress enough the importance of changing up the angles, trying new things, and getting to know your body to find out exactly what the best thing is. And I hope this workout helped you kind of find your way, or at least gave you some ideas of why to experiment with your training. Mountain. So yeah, I hope this helped out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalandbodybuilding.com. And thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now.